hele mai ke olo olo oe. E ho'i mai ku'u ipo. E hele mai ke olo olo oe. E ho'i mai. It's breakfast with Bob.
Thank you, Pancho Man. Welcome back to Breakfast from Kona, our studio audience. Oh my God, standing ovation. My name is Bob Abbott. We're presented by Active, #inspired to race. We are brought to you by Timex, Rudy Project, GoPro, MPA Graphics, Lava Magazine, Babbittville Radio. Our next guest last year took second here, and this is her, what did we decide, Rachel? This is your sixth time here?
Yeah.
Number six time, and we'll use the microphone thing. There we go, like
we
that.
Go.
So when we talk about last year, and I look at the final times, 8:52 for Rinny and 8:57 for Rachel in second place, 5 minutes. But you were really coming in here a little bit injured. Talk a little bit about the running injury that you were dealing with.
I mean, by the time I got to the race, I wasn't injured, but the injury definitely impacted my preparation for the race. And I think some of it was my own fault. During Ironman Texas, I rolled my ankle really badly in the final few miles. And then I just spent about a month or so just running through the pain until finally I was doing a run and I could barely walk home after it. And so then I kind of got scans done, and I'd actually got a small lateral tear in a tendon in my foot. So I was in a boot for the beginning of August. So I just didn't have that nice consistent run build up that I would have wanted to. And I had another like completely random niggle just the beginning of September in my shoulder. So I think Dave was close to a nervous breakdown. So every time I would turn up to training,
There's something
the
else.
niggle had migrated to a different area.
Yeah.
So, but coming into the race, I wasn't focusing on the injuries, know, because I know who cares what was wrong with me before. No one's going to be thinking about that. It's the end result. And I think I had managed to string a bit of training together, and I think I'd had a good bike build up. And so I focused on the things that had gone well in my preparation rather than the things that hadn't gone well. And I wasn't prepared to let that be an excuse not to have a good race.
Right. But you still ran 3:03, which is a good marathon considering that you didn't have the build up that you wanted.
Yeah, no, it was solid, and I think it's a testament to the strength program that Dave had me on throughout the summer, because although I didn't have the consistency and I didn't have any long runs, I think being in the gym just meant I could hold my form in the latter stages of the race.
So when did you start working with Dave Scott?
The beginning of 2013.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did he bring to the table? Obviously, the strength training was one, but what else?
He didn't completely change my training, but my training did change a lot. And when I first started working with him, it was incredibly challenging. I felt like I was being pushed in every session, and it was moving what I thought I could do. I would look at the program and think that there's no way I can do 1 week of this, let alone 6 weeks of it. But I liked that it was a challenge, and definitely coming into this year, I had that mentality, kind of slightly changed mentality, and I wasn't scared of the program, and I knew that it was going to make me stronger. And the other thing he brought, he's a wealth of experience and incredibly knowledgeable. And to be in Boulder where he lives is great, because I see him several times a week, and that just makes a big difference too.
So when you look at the success you've had here in Kona, we were talking in 2009 was your first time, 6th, 5th, 4th, 11th when you were really sick and probably shouldn't have been on the starting line, and second last year. You've been very, very consistent here and had good results. What is it about this place that suits you?
I love this race for many reasons. I think one is it's the World Championships, and I really love the big races, the big occasions, and I think there's something about it that kind of I really get up for the race, like there's a little bit of it's that fine line between the nerves and the like how strong is everyone else, and somehow it brings out the best in me on race day. I love the island. It's such a tough course,
which you like,
which I like.
Yes.
Yeah. So
you'd like, in terms of if you had your choice on conditions, real hot, real windy, that better for you?
Yeah, I'd like a little bit of wind on Saturday.
That would be good.
And it feels hot. It feels like it's a hot year.
Yeah.
I mean, so.
But being from Great Britain, it seems like you wouldn't be thinking, oh, the hotter the better. But for whatever reason, you, Chrissy, people just seem to, from Great Britain, seem to do well here.
Yeah, I don't know if it's there's something about coming from such a damp and grey
just so happy to be out of the rain
that makes us relish being somewhere sunny and hot. I don't know what it is, but I like it here.
That is great. So somebody who's a lawyer, all of a sudden becoming a professional triathlete, and you were a lawyer and you ran the London Marathon and in actually 3:03, which is pretty interesting, in 2005. Yeah. And at that point, you were just running the marathon for fun?
Yeah, it was a challenge. I'd swum. I did it actually, I think, in 2001 or 2002.
Okay.
And I was at law school, and I'd kind of got bored of swimming, and I just was like, I'm going to run the marathon, and I got a charity spot, and it was fun. The whole process was fun because I was raising money through these like disco nights for the college students, and then running, and I met a whole group of other people to run with, and I had no idea really what I was doing. I would just set off on a Sunday morning with nothing but my watch and a 50p in my pocket and run 3 hours because I thought that's what I've got to do. And
so basically the race I think is going to take about 3 hours, so I'll just go run 3 hours.
Well, I thought it was going to take me longer than 3 hours, so it was a pleasant surprise.
I was going to say, you were surprised with the 3:03.
Yeah, I mean, I'd kind of pitched 3:30 as the barrier I wanted to break, but
for a first-time marathon.
Yeah.
And what led to triathlon?
I think really the marathon was the beginning of me kind of really loving the training that goes into an endurance event. And I then got a bike, and I went on this holiday in like 2004 with 2 guy friends, and it was a cycling holiday, and I suffered from the beginning to the end of that holiday, and but I just wanted to be better at cycling, and the same 2 guys had done triathlon and kind of convinced me to give that a go, and that's what I did. That was it, yeah. And
when did you realize that you could be really good at this?
I think like I had some good results early on, and I think it was more that I knew that my training was a bit ad hoc, and if I actually was serious about training, there was so much potential to be much better, and I didn't know what much better would mean, but I've got that personality. I don't want to do something half-heartedly, it kind of just snowballed, and I think the turning point was when I won the 70.3 World Championships for my age group.
Yes.
And then I was like, look at that race, look at those girls, the professionals on the stage, and I wanted to test myself against them, and that was really what drove me to push to turn professional.
Well, in 2008, you turned pro, 5th at Ironman Florida, 7th Ironman UK 70.3, so obviously having success. And so when you look back, what was the best race that you've ever had?
I think it was probably my first Kona.
Yeah.
Because it was less than a year after I'd done my first professional Ironman.
2009.
I was pretty much self-coached. I had a cycling coach, and I was green, and I turned up here, and I almost psyched myself out of the race. You know, I had so much respect for these names that I'd just read about. You know, I was racing against Leander Cave and Chrissy and Bella Bayliss, and these were people I really looked up to and had just read about, and I was like, I just don't know am I gonna?
Do I fit?
Yeah, will I be able to compete against them? And when I rolled into T2 and 4th off the bike, and I was like, what?
Where is everybody?
And I was almost pinching myself then, and I ended up 6th, and nothing will ever replicate that feeling I had running down the finishing chute, because I was like, oh my God, I'm 6th. I couldn't really believe it. It was kind of, like it was confirmation that I could make a living.
Well.
Yeah.
I mean, what was what I love about triathlon is how you can be friends with people and still go race them, because really on race day it's you against the course, you against yourself.
Yeah.
Do you see that as like you and Mirinda, and even when Chrissy was there, is there an encouragement for each other? Because hey, at the end of the day, we want all the women to perform well.
I think one of the special things about Ironman is that there is generally a great camaraderie between the competitors. I think on race day, you don't even really think about anyone else.
Right.
Your competitors are there, and they push you to get the best out of yourself.
Yes.
And so I think there is a great respect, and I think we're probably not actively encouraging each other out on the course. Sometimes, yes, but I think, before and after the race, we all know what we've gone through, and
to get there.
Yeah,
you know how hard it is to do what you do. If somebody's up there with you, they've put in the hard yards to get there.
Yeah.
So this summer, when you were racing Challenge Roth, and Rinny comes by, right?
Yeah.
And it sort of reminded me of last year at Kona. Were you feeling like, oh, great, not again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a little different. Last year in Kona, I didn't really even attempt to stay with Rinny. I did make up a bit of time later on in the course. I tried to run with her for a bit in Roth, but I didn't stay there. So there was a slight reminder, but I wasn't particularly disheartened by it. I knew, there's a lot I can do between Roth and now to improve, and I've been really happy with how training's gone, and there's nothing like being passed twice in the latter stages of the marathon to motivate you. So.
Exactly. So knowing yourself and knowing that you ran 3:03 with not the optimum preparation, how fast do you think you can run on this marathon course? Is mid 250s out of line?
No, I'm absolutely, that's what, I think with the smooth preparation I've had for this race, that's not beyond my capabilities, and we all know conditions play a big part.
Absolutely.
And if it is a tough day, maybe the run times will suffer, but I have confidence that I'm strong and can, those conditions may play to my favor. So
what would it mean to you to come down to Lee Drive as the Ironman world champion?
That's what drives me every day, and that's what's motivated me since last Kona. So, I don't think I would really know what it meant until I did it, but I know it would mean a hell of a lot.
It would.
So, yeah.
Rachel, thanks so much for taking time.
Thank
Always
you.
a pleasure
Thanks
to
for
catch up.
having me.
Oh, love it. And so that legal stuff, that's still, you're not going back to law
It's
anytime
on the
soon.
back burners. It's
not even on the stove yet.
Yeah, no, it's locked away in a wardrobe somewhere.
Rachel Joyce has been our guest. This is a Breakfast from Kona. My name is Bob Babbitt. We are presented by Active, #Inspired to Race. Our other sponsors are Timex, and every one of our guests will be getting a new Timex watch. Rudy Project GoPro. We have our GoPro camera set up. 2-camera shoot today. MPA Graphics, the official graphics house for USA Triathlon, Lava Magazine, and Babbitttville Radio. And of course, our main man, Poncho Man.
Aole, ahila hila, hone hone, aole plikia, aole, ahila hila, hone hone. It's Breakfast with Bob. Cheers.
Poncho Man.
Hello, guys.